dreams. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
well, welcome back. Welcome back. We are on episode 7 of Match Me Up Broad. I think it's episode 7. Is it episode 7, Elsie?
Yeah, we already had 7. I don't know how much more to go, but we are at 7.
Oh, we are at 7. Okay. All right. Well, how's everybody doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. I see Nesto. Here. Happy Tuesday, El Cid. Yes, yes, yes. I see K Sharp. Welcome in. Welcome in. And of course, our lovely El Cid says, hey, chat, we're coming. Yeah. So we're here, guys. I hope you got a chance to watch this episode. It was actually very packed full of all the characters, except all the daters except for one. Would you say so, El Cid?
Oh, yeah. They packed us in. They packed us all in like sardines.
Right. They really, truly did. They packed them in like sardines, and it was interesting. I'm still waiting to see when our girl Amber is going to blow her lid.
Oh, it's coming. Amber is about to pop that top. It's coming.
Yeah, it is coming. It is coming. I know. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Are you guys watching this? It's on TLC, but if you don't, if you're unable to watch, we will cover it for you guys. Okay, we will cover it for you, and you will be up to date on the latest. Okay. All right. So, Match Me Abroad. We're gonna start with Tony. Because Tony basically is a continuation. We pick up where we left off last week, where he's in the office with Louisa, and he's telling her that he did not like none of the 3 women that he was introduced to during the blind date. None of them. So what did you think about that, El Cid?
I understood that even without the blindfold. I knew Tony wasn't going to like nobody. And his reasoning, for one, I understood. The others, I'm like, Tony, you must know that girl had short hair, or you must know something else. But Tony was not feeling him. When Louisa said, which one would you like today? He's like, can I say none of them? How about none?
Zippo.
None of them. Oh, Nestle Shackles Shuffle Walk of Shame. It's actually Aubrey. Sometimes you see her here on my channel. I guest on her channel, and you'll see her in the chat a lot of time at over at Lady T-Bug's place.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She just asked.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Okay. You know what? I get Nesto mixed up with Lady T-Bug, but I think I've been on both their channels to support both of them. But if not, I will be over there, Nesto. I will be over there. Okay, you can bet on that. But yeah, Tony, Tony is like, do you feel like he's a nitpicker, or is it just me?
He is a nitpicker, but I think Tony is trying to get a wife to elevate his standards from the way he talked about being bullied as a kid, because he didn't have, it seemed like he didn't have a lot of stuff, to the point where Tony, even with his pictures being AI generated and AI touched up, Tony wants to give this impression of I am elite, when he certainly is not at that elite level he's trying to say he is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about him that makes him think that he's so much better than everybody else, but it's just like he's so nitpicky, and the things he's nitpicking about, they are very little consequence in a long-term relationship, I think.
It also shows that he's a hypocrite. He wants somebody with long hair. Well, where's your hair, Tony? Where's your hair?
Well, he
You
did pay. He did pay for those micro dots on the scalp.
right. He's got the tattoo dots on his head to give him a fake hairline. And you want the woman, what if she said she wants a man with hair? I mean, come on, Tony. Then he wants someone who's fit. And we heard him moaning and groaning, doing the sit-ups and jumping rope. Tony is a hypocrite.
Yeah, he is, and I think our girl Louisa, she's on to him. I really believe that she's on to him. I don't like the way Tony talks to Louisa. So when he says, like, I'm paying you big money and I need you to do your job, and she's trying to tell him because he's like, everything is a deal breaker, and she's saying that you can't, everything can possibly be a deal breaker. It's going to be impossible for me to match you with someone. And he's upset because he says, well, when she says things like difficult, that really hinders me, that really hurts my feelings. Like, what?
Because he is difficult. And he knows he's difficult. And he ain't paying her. Okay. TLC is paying her. So that turned me totally off of Tony. She is not being paid by you, sir. Not
Right.
unless y'all correct me, correct me, Tony. Show the receipt online where you paid Louisa directly. But I'm sure, Tony, you are being paid to be on this show. And the show is paying you to pick somebody and go on a date. So pick.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And just go on a date, because I mean, let's get started here. You've been in the country for how long and you still haven't been on a date yet? I like what Kay Sharp says. Tony gives me pretentious vibes. He needs to find a shaman to find out who he really is before looking for love. You agree with that, Elsit?
Hey, he need a dip in the green waters. That's what I know.
Not a dip. Not a dip. He need to be dipped in something, maybe some holy water. I don't know. Like, I think he thinks he's going to find a little naive young Brazilian woman who, like, he can take back and she can be his trophy bride, and she will just hang on his every word. That's the impression he gives me. Like, he needs a very young, very naive Brazilian woman before he's going to be happy.
Yeah, because no woman who is mature is going to accept what he is, what he's providing. Even, sorry to say, Tony, your apartment is decent enough for just about anybody. But if you wish to be as elevated as you appear, that ain't it. Tony, I guess you're right. Any established woman in her craft, in her, career, I don't think she's going to want Tony.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
It's kind of like, I married you, so make me some dinner, woman. That's the tone he gives.
Yeah, kind of like ultra traditional like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, very ultra traditional, and I just think he's going to be sorely disappointed, because a lot of people that I hear, that I chat with, say that when some of the women come over here from foreign countries, they become Americanized very quickly. So I don't know what he's expecting, but I don't think he's going to find it.
No, he ain't, because he better go listen to Eddie Murphy's Raw. He told us even back then, when he found the lady in Bush country, that she came back and she became Americanized. He better go listen to Eddie Murphy.
Exactly. So moving on to our next dater, we have Victoria. And Victoria, remember now, when Victoria met with Katarina in Ireland, Katarina said, listen, because you don't seem to have a voice, I'm going to have to go on your next date with you. So here they are, seated at the comedy club, waiting for her date to go on the stage, because she's match made her with a comedian. What did you think of Katarina coming on the date with her?
I agree. Katarina needed to be on the date. I think she needed to kind of like push her to kind of speak up, say something, but you're going to put her on a date to speak up with someone who's talking for a living. I just thought that was pretty funny. It's like, would he hush? Would he hush enough? Would she feel empowered enough to speak since he speaks for a living? I thought that was funny.
I never looked at it like that, but that's a good point. So, her date this time out is Darren, and Darren, like I said, he's a comedian. After he's finished his set, I thought he did pretty good. You know, lots of jokes about the tattoo. You know, I thought he did pretty well, but more importantly, he seems to be very extroverted, very outgoing, and he seems to really like our girl Victoria.
Yeah, the producers asked him. The producers asked him if he liked her, if he was attracted to her, and he kind of gave a little kind of blush look that made me think he wasn't lying through his teeth about it, but that he truly did, have some kind of attraction to her. But
Hmm.
but let's back it up. Katerina is in jeans and a lovely blouse, and she did not, say have anything to say about Victoria's outfit. Remember, she had lots to say when she came off the plane.
Oh yeah, she did. Yes, she did.
She didn't say anything,
Well,
that we saw.
she had on those black thigh high boots and that little mini skirt. So I think she says, well, she's not like trying to hide now. She's ready to kind of come out and be noticed.
Exactly, exactly. And the lipstick really red. She even did a little, thing to showcase her face. And nothing we saw that Carolina, complimented her outfit. It's way better than what I saw you at first. But Katerina was in the jeans. I was like, "Ooh, you dressed down now." I would have said something snippy like that. Oh, now I'm looking better than you tonight.
I guess she said we're gonna be at a comedy club. You never know what's on these seats back here. You never know. So I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna wear my jeans. That way I can just throw them in the wash. I don't have to dry clean or nothing. Yeah, but I thought he did like to make conversation, and as Katerina noted after she left, because she did leave the two of them alone, and she says, "I think my girl Victoria, she's got it. She's coming out of her shell. She's speaking up. She's talking to him. He's talking to her. I'm going to go ahead and exit stage left."
And that's where I think she should have stayed to chaperone, because the decisions they make later, oh my.
Yes, right. Okay, so we find out that there's a 12-year age gap. So Victoria's, I think, 39. So I guess that puts him at 27. He's a lot younger than her, a lot younger. And she asked him how he felt about that, and he said he was okay with it. So, well, what did you think? What did you think of that 12-year age difference?
They really don't look 12-year age gap. She remember with her first date, she said, cringe, instant cringe. She gets wigged out like instantly. And this time she's wigged out by the age gap, and he's like, he doesn't have a care in the world. He's like, okay, you're older. But he's like, he doesn't want kids. She does not want kids. He's, pushing in his career. The only thing, I didn't like that they edited and put in that, he, wants to go to America. But
Well,
that's
who
neither
doesn't
here.
though? Who doesn't? A
Right.
lot of
Who
people
doesn't?
around the world want to come to America for all types of reasons.
But it certainly is a great way of doing things, and we realize they're both a little bit nerdy together, which I like. They both like Excel spreadsheets.
Especially, yeah, he says he likes to do YouTube videos and find out different formulas so he can play with his Excel spreadsheet. So I thought that was cute. They are both. Someone said it up here. They're both equally goofy. I think that was to go to Africa. They're both equally goofy, and I think that works. And then
Is
I also, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
is this where I make my confession too? I do also like Excel formulas. I do like to play with them and figure
Ah,
stuff out, and so yeah, I understand him.
him and her. Okay, yeah. And you know what? I thought, like, as far as going back to the age gap, I thought that there's some part of her when she's healed and she's not, in whatever traumas may have happened to her in the past. Um, she is very like wide-eyed, you know what I mean? She's very excited
Yeah.
about things. So that's kind of a more of a youthful type of thing, right? She's not jaded. So I think the two of them together, I mean, if they have other things in common besides the spreadsheet, and if they have chemistry, we're going to see, I guess, in the next day, because there's now this is what we're going to talk about. So they have decided that their next date, he's going to take her to the world's best tattooist, and they're going to go and get what else? It
Frickin' matching tattoos. What in the tarnation you gonna take me on a second date and match tattoos? You must be out your mind.
right. I'm sorry, I keep hitting this wrong one as the comments keep coming in. Yeah, that matching tattoos on the second date. Like, really? Are they serious?
Apparently they are serious. Matching tattoos. I
Well,
I, I don't get it.
I did think of, I'm not for the idea of the tattoos and people's names and all that stuff, but I did think maybe if they got a tiny little four-leaf clover, maybe perhaps that would be actually not just a tattoo for him, that would be a tattoo for her first journey over to Ireland, right?
I figure, but then I gotta lie to my next date because I ain't gonna presume you my forever. I got to lie to the next man and say why I got the tattoo, not just Ireland, but I can never say is because I went on a date with this dude and he has the matching one. Oh heck no. This is on international television too. Victoria.
You know what? I almost forgot about that. That's a good point. But that's why I'm saying if she gets something like a four-leaf clover, I mean, she can tell him, on camera, hey, this is in remembrance of you and of Ireland, right? And as time goes by, it'll just be of Ireland because if the two of them aren't together, I don't know. What do you think?
Shoot, I'll buy a four-leaf clover like charm or a piece of jewelry or something, not a permanent mark on my body that another man has the same mark on his body. Not happening. Maybe after our 10th wedding anniversary. Maybe.
Then she can get the four-leaf clover, huh?
Shoot, if I make it 10 years, you deserve a four-leaf clover.
And so does he. Yeah, but these two actually they seem to have gotten along quite well. I think the Katerina might be onto something with the younger guy. And also I don't think that Victoria, if I'm not mistaken, did you hear whether or not she had ever dated younger before? Because I don't think she did.
No, I don't think she did. And then she had to she self-sabotages. She
Right, what
does
she
because
do?
she says, I need to go back to the hotel because I'm old. Stop bringing up your age, lady. He does
Yeah,
not
oh, that
care.
part. Yeah, she did. She did say that. I feel old. And I'm like, he was looking at her and he just smiled like he doesn't have a problem with your age. So, like you said, I wouldn't have brought it up again. Like, what? Like, why are you bringing that up?
Right. Say jet lag. Say, hey, I'm still recovering from this jet lag. It was wonderful. I gotta go lay down.
That would have made more sense to say the jet lag part. I'm in agreement with you on that. Like, don't make it all about your age when it's not about your age. It's not. It's really not about your age. Um, But I did like this date. I thought they had a good date. I'm sure this date was edited because it seemed rather short, but I'm sure there's lots of parts that were edited out. I wonder if they were dancing at this club or is it just strictly comedy? What do you think?
It looked like strictly comedy, but you could tell it was edited because if you look around them, you
Hmm.
saw how the crowd moved and you kind of
Ah,
knew like, okay, this was kind of a moving set. Even he said it's not conducive for a real date because it's so loud and so much going on. And he
hmm,
couldn't ask so many questions. So, but
right.
he's my type of dude though,
Why is
Aubrey.
that?
And for those y'all could call me whatever. Y'all could call me, beneath the brow or whatever. He got that wine in that cup and he just poured it into the next glass and he drank from there. I was like, I like him
What was it about that you liked? I mean, explain that to me.
because sometimes some people have a preference in glassware. It may
Uh-huh.
not be the actual glassware I'm supposed to drink this out of, but this
Right,
is the
right.
glassware I'm comfortable with. So I'm
Okay,
gonna just
gotcha.
pour it out into what I like. And
Ah,
he took that weirdly shaped, glass, maybe that would you would usually have maybe a cognac. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And he just poured it into the wine glass and he kept on drinking. I said, I like you.
yeah, that was cool. He's well, you know what? Like her, he seems as if he's down to earth, and I think that's the other thing that Katerina captured about their personalities, that they're both down to earth, regular people. They're not pretentious like our Tony, earlier, right? They are
Right.
just actually just down to earth people and looking for another down to earth person. Oh, and the other thing is, we found out is that he also does not want children, just as Victoria doesn't want to have any children.
Right. But I can understand a concern if she thinks, oh, he's still young. He doesn't
Hmm.
know if he wants, but he has chosen a lifestyle of comedy, of travel. And so she can certainly go with him, not stay up all night, but she could certainly go with him wherever he's, doing his comedy and stuff like that. So I think they're a match. The age she needs to get over because he's over it. He said, I knew your name and your age, and I
Right.
was fine with it.
He was fine with it, right? That is so true. The bad thing about it is that she regrets getting the tattoo. She'll regret getting the tattoos if they have a traumatic experience. Ooh, to go to Africa. Excellent point. Good point. That's a very good point. Guys, you may not have seen. So this was a more to match me abroad. So there was a few bonus scenes. So bonus scene was, for example, the two of these ladies, which I was wondering about this. Do these people that are from America in the same city, do they ever go out and meet each other? And so apparently Katerina had put Victoria and Amber together, gave them each other's phone number. They've been talking on the phone, and they decided to do like a little tour of Dublin, right? Dublin, Ireland. And so they're on this little tour. They hop on this like double decker bus, like what you would see like in London, right? And they're on and they're having tea. You can see the little snacks there on the table and whatnot. And so Amber says, do you want to have your tea first, or do you drink your tea, or do you want me to tell you the tea? And she begins to tell about her date with Paul and about his compost toilet, right? And so
Mm-mm-mm.
and so on the other hand, Victoria says, well, I had a bad day too. I went out with the guy and we were getting the oysters and he put hot sauce in his eyes. And Amber was like, oh yeah, I would much rather go out with Paul a dozen times before I go out with some crazy guy putting hot sauce in his eye. So they had a good key about that. So that was the bonus scene that we have with these two.
Girl, you got to remind me about these bonus scenes because I just watched the episode this week and forgot all about going back to TLC.
Yeah, because that's probably where they have them hidden at. On Philo, they just throw it on right on the app, and it's there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I get to see all of that. But we've got next up, we've got our dater, one of our favorites, Harold. Harold's back in the office talking with Dolly to go over how his date went. And he lets her know that he had a wonderful time with his date. He really likes her. He wants to go out with her again. And she compliments him. She says she really liked you. And she says she did not want the date to end. What did you think about that?
I like that. And Harold said, "Hey, I needed my suspenders. Okay, this is why I brought them back
He
because he
brought her
had me
back.
here with my pants almost about to drop in public. Okay, but it was wonderful. He had a great, talk about his date, what happened. I'm glad that she's relaying the feedback that was definitely positive. I was scared for a second because I was like, oh my gosh, she's sending a note that says she don't want to see him. But she had some great questions too from
Yes,
his
she
date.
did.
Very forward thinking, future thinking questions.
Yes, like the kind of questions you would have if you are getting, going to be serious about somebody and thinking about spending the rest of your life, starting a family with this person. The question about that she gave to Dolly was she was wanting to know, because he has explained to her that he is on the spectrum. What does that look like if they have children together? Would their children automatically also be on the spectrum? What are your thoughts?
That was an interesting question to ask. And, definitely if you look at research as to, which parent, right now for scientific research, it usually comes from the father, they say. So
Hmm.
that's some research, not all, but
Hmm.
it's a great question because it's like genetically there's a 50-50 chance our child may have autism. And how do we navigate this? How would you navigate this? And
Hmm.
I think it's very forward thinking because she is thinking about family and children. And she said she's being intentional.
Yes, she's being very intentional. I liked Harold's answer. He said that, the thing about him being on the spectrum and all that he has learned and created a productive, wonderful life for himself, he would be able to spot it early on, and they would be able to get intervention for the child if they were on the spectrum, and he would be able to help them with ways that has helped him to cope. He would, that wouldn't be. And he says he looked at it. He says, I don't look at it as a disability. I look at it, if handled well, it's a superpower.
Right. He has had this for most of his life. He has a successful career. So he knows exactly how to navigate. And you know what? From when he grew up to now, there are a lot more, social standing, social um stuff that he could certainly help his child and aid his child in growing up as an autistic human being. It's not a limitation. It's just, an adaptation. You just have to adapt to things a little bit differently. So as the parent to a child who is autistic, it I loved how he said it, and that is certainly how our therapist told us to view it.
Right. It's not a disability, but it could be a superpower if well handled and given, I think also given, like with any child, given the tools to cope with whatever situation they're in, right? Be-
Exactly. So he's like, "Hey, I got it. I'm the dad. I have it too. I'm gonna help all of us navigate this."
mhm. Good point, K Sharp. Yes, Harold has had some great resources to help him, which is definitely an advantage. And also, you know what I think too that also really helps him besides the resources is his attitude. He has a very forward thinking, positive attitude.
He does. He does. And I attest that to the people around him. He hasn't been, he hasn't seen things as very negative at all. The way Harold navigates these things is like, okay, your mom, your grandmother, and those around you have certainly helped you grow into this, man that is very positive thinking.
hmm Very positive thinking. And he's very determined. I think the thing I see about Harold, and I think I told you this last week, Elsid, is that when he decides on an idea, something he wants to do, he is very determined, he is very focused. And I think for the right woman who enjoys Harold's company and is patient, I think Harold would make a wonderful partner because he is so committed, he is so steadfast. He's not flaky, he's not a flaky guy.
Hey, and that is part of his superpower, that he won't be flaky. Once he is decided, once he is, latched on, he will be forever for this person. So I'm hoping that, this goes very well for both of them, because she's
hmm
looking for a dedicated husband and he is looking to be somebody's dedicated husband.
right, right. And I like what he said. He said, or what she said, actually, I'm sorry. Dolly said that she believes that Harold will be a good father for whether a child has autism or whether they don't have autism. He's just going to be a really focused in and really warm, attentive father, either way.
Exactly. He will be. I can see that of him.
I think so too. So they go on the date. They're on a like a riverboat, and it's a little bit raining. So that he says it's romantic, and she is enjoying it. She also has a little gift for him. She gives him some bubble tea. What is bubble tea?
It's a form of like a green tea. I guess he likes the taste of that tea. But again, I love international travel. I love to see how people package things differently. Like Canada, the milk is in, plastic bags rather than cartons. So this one I was like, okay, is she carrying the tea in that clear holder because it's open? No, there's just a plastic top over it to keep it sealed, and he just would, I guess, poke the straw in or just peel the top off in order to be able to drink the beverage.
Ah, kind of like a little juice pouch almost, huh?
Exactly, exactly. I was like, "Oh, this is cute." And then it almost hits the floor.
Right. But he saved it. He made a good save.
Right. K Sharp tells you it's a tea with tapioca. Very delicious.
Oh, let me get that up. Okay. Oh, very delicious. Oh, yeah, that does sound good. Wow. Yeah, so they're on their date. Oh, I left something out. So back when he was having the conversation with his matchmaker Dolly, he was talking about how his hand holding had went over well with his date, and she was saying, "Well, Harold, I think now that she's accepted that because you're only here for a limited time. Now, typically in our culture here in Singapore, we would not move so fast, but she understands that you're on a mission and you're only here for a limited amount of time. So I think it would be okay if you gave her a little kiss on her cheek."
Mm-hmm.
And so they're on the date, and as they are sitting down, they're facing each other. She turns to him to give him a kiss on his cheek, and he turns his head to grab it, and they end up kissing on the lips.
Right,
Uh,
a quick peck, and I
a quick
think
peck.
that
Yeah.
that was situational.
Yeah.
Immediately Harold's like, "Oh my gosh, I hope this is not a big blooper." I don't think it is the way she reacted afterwards. You
Hmm.
know, kind of told him, "Hey, you were a little sneaky," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He wasn't overly sorry, but he played along
Right.
with it. But
Yeah.
again, I think it was situational. I think he was going and then he tried to change up. But again, when one is going for the cheek and the other one is turning in the same direction,
Right.
lips collide. Lips collide. It
So
wasn't clever.
hopefully,
It was no tongue. It was no
no tongue.
nothing. Just
No,
the fluffy lips.
just the fluffy lips of the two of these people, and they are smiling and they are happy. They seem to really enjoy each other's company.
Now,
I
can
am
can I say this
Yeah,
with
go ahead,
them?
go ahead. What about?
What she said she would not have done this if he was not visiting Singapore. She would not
Yes.
have done this, a very touristy thing. There's one thing one of my uncles told me years ago. He's like,
Hmm.
be a tourist in your town. So in the
Yes, that is
summertime,
so true.
it
Yes.
is summertime. I want to challenge anyone who is listening to us, you know, do something that's very touristy in your town. Don't let people come to your city and take a tour and you have not ventured, on that tour. Like I'm here in Atlanta. I have done, well, CNN is no longer here, but I've done the CNN tour. I've done the bus tour. I've done the rail car tour of Atlanta and
Oh
see
wow.
what a tourist would do. It is fun, and it lets you see your city other than you go to work and you come home.
Right, right, right. Because most of us, that's what we see. It took me a long time to go to the Motown Museum, and when I did, I had such a ball. Oh my God, I loved it so much.
Right.
I
Just
loved it
just
so
take
much.
just take some time. So every time, well, when I lived in New York, it was very, very good that I did that because I was in the last few to actually be able to climb up to Lady Liberty's crown. So it's something that we can no longer do, but it's like something I got to experience. So is yes,
Wow.
please be a tourist, even if it's a double decker bus.
Hmm.
Just any kind of boat ride, something. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just
No, it
take a
doesn't.
tour of your city. The hop on, hop off bus, take that sucker for one day and mosey around and see what the tourists do.
Right, that is so true. And then also too, another thing is to just be like you said, like even if you haven't visited your local museums and places of interest like that, like we have one of Detroit has one of the best world-class museums in the world, and that's the Detroit Institute of Art. There is always something exciting going on, especially in the summer down at DIA. Always. So very good
Right.
point. Very good point.
Right. It doesn't take a lot. As I said, I travel in all these these different places, and I make sure I do something touristy. And just your home. It's your city. People talk about staycations. It doesn't have to be a lot. Like what's on my list right now. That same bus that you showed that Amber, um, oh God, and Victoria were on, where it's tea time on a bus. That is here in Atlanta as well. So I'm looking at that and looking to see, where it goes, where can I pick it up to do that. as to see if I could do that as a tourist thing that's in Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, guys, that's a that prompting from El Cid. That is a very good idea. Oh, okay. Samantha, you've been in Vegas since the 80s. She says she hasn't done some of the touristy stuff that she liked. That Magic Mike show, huh?
Hey, that's some good peaks and valleys to be touring on. Okay.
Yes, indeed. 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 So on our next dater that's up, Monica. We've got Monica here. Monica, we're going back to last week. She's still having these issues that, where she was on the phone talking to, I believe it was Bernardo. And, she just so emotional. She feels like she's cheating. And oh my God, she's got to tell him how she kissed this man a few times in the lips. I'm surprised she didn't tell him she got some tongue action. She was just telling so much of her business. What did you think about that, Elsie? Like, was that necessary?
Monica is my overly emotional friend that I just, oh my gosh, I have to be share and say snap out of it. It's like, girl, you just kissed the man. You did not grope him, okay?
You did
Y'all
not
weren't
grope her.
teenagers. You did not
Mhm.
invite him back to your hotel room like you did Bernardo, okay? He don't know what your room number is. And all of this stuff. This is why your matchmaker told you no kissing. So again, Monica, this is the slap on the hand because you weren't listening to the instructions. If you just
Mhm.
listened to Louisa, you would not be in this predicament.
Yeah. K Sharp, I think you hit the nail on the head. She is definitely an overthinker. And I'm wondering, though, too, something that made me think of this is that maybe she's also an empath. Um, and sometimes for us empaths, it's hard to turn off our emotions when we feel like someone could have been hurt by something we did. But I love what um, Louisa
Uh-huh.
basically said to her is that you can still, like, you all these things you're talking about, you're a bad person, you did this, you hurt him, but it's important that if you want to be in a relationship, sometimes a heart or two might have to be broken or feelings might be hurt. And I kept thinking to myself, like, she's talking about hurting Bernardo or hurting Bruno. I'm thinking to myself, she's the one that's going to end up hurt if she doesn't follow um the advice of the matchmaker. What did you think about that?
I agree. She's going to find herself hurt because she doesn't want to listen. She thinks she's doing this journey on, on her own terms. Yes. But this matchmaker is here to guide you. And I'm going to use Tony's line. You're paying her. We know she ain't paying her, but you're paying her to help guide you. She's here to guide you. This is a culture you know nothing about. And she knows a lot about you. And she's trying to coach you and guide you. And you're not listening. And every time you don't listen, you trip over. So at what point is she going to listen? What frustrated me with Monica,
Okay.
frustrated me with her is that she goes on to say, um, well, um, even if I'm hurt and alone, I don't want to hurt anybody else. Excuse me?
How do you care about people you just met a day ago? How do you care more about them than your own self, your own heart, your own protection?
Exactly what Luisa is thinking. Like, lady, you called another man just to say you kissed your other date. All these men know that you're here to date.
Right,
All these men know that you are not committed to them. Why are you acting like you cheated when you have no commitment to these men?
right, right. Because that's what I'm thinking too. And he tells her that in the conversation. He tells her, he says, hey, listen, Monica, I know you're dating other people. Well, while I may not like it, I understand it, and I understand it and I accept it. So don't be offended, and I just thought it was so unnecessary for her to pick up the phone and call him and just, start emoting.
She is allowing him to play her because I'm sorry if I was in Bernardo's shoes and
Hmm.
she called and she told me that I would have played it like he did. But that tells me how much control I have over you.
Ooh.
I'm in your head. I'm living rent free. And you are going to call me and tell me all your sins, even though I did not ask for it. She is falling into his control if he's that type of person.
Well, you know what? That's a very good point. And the other thing, because Louisa told her, she says, to be honest with you, I feel like uh, Bernardo is a little bit being a playboy because he really does want to have children. And you and I discussed this, I think, last week about him, that he basically does want to have children, but because he's willing to just, get in her bed, he will say, oh, well, you know what? It's okay. We don't have to have children.
Exactly. Louisa said, hey, he may just be telling you that just, to give you what you want to hear because he does like you or he just wants to be with you. Again, even Louisa was shocked when he asked to take her up to her room. So Bernardo is putting on a whole lot of steam.
Moving
And
real fast.
right, Louisa is clocking it, but as our comment here, right, to go to Africa, she doesn't have much dating experience. I don't think so. I
Oh,
really don't
yeah,
think Monica
that's
has.
right.
And even if she had dating experience, I don't think she's had dating experience where she's had to juggle multiple people.
Yes, that's right. Because she got married. I think wasn't she 18 or 19 when she was married and had her first child, her daughter?
She
Like,
had her daughter, and then she
yeah.
said after that she didn't date after she had her daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
again, Monica, I need you to kind of wake up. This is not how you date. And on the bookend, her mother and her daughter look like they go dating savvy. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she doesn't have much dating
acumen.
dating acumen. No, not at all. Not at all. And it's showing. It's showing. And like you said, men, whether it's Bernardo or someone else, men, if she continues to date like that, men will take advantage of that because she's just putting everything right out there on the table too soon, I believe.
Exactly. They're putting it way she's doing way too much way too soon. The fact that you kissed another man and you were on a date with him, you are going no further than your date with Bernardo. So you kissed Bruno. You are going no further than when you kissed Bernardo. So why do you need to self-report?
Right.
Why do
And
you
that
feel guilty?
hmm kind of like self-sabotage is what I'm
Right.
getting out of it. She thinks
Exactly.
she's self-reporting, but she's also self-sabotaging.
Exactly. He don't need to know nothing about what's going on, especially since she picks Bruno to have the date with. So you didn't need to confess to Bernardo because you weren't going to get a second date with him anyway.
You mean with Bernardo or Bruno? Which one?
She pick Bruno for the second date?
Yeah, but I didn't think that meant that she wasn't possibly going out with Bernardo, though. I'm not. I'm confused.
What I'm saying is she went and confessed to Bernardo that she kissed Bruno. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So she confessed.
Mm-hmm.
But then when given a choice as to who to go on the next date, she picked Bruno. So then
Yeah.
Bernardo didn't need to know anything.
No, he didn't. You're right. You're right. I see what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, she did not need to tell him that.
Now, on that second date, you better make sure you do something that's worthy of self-reporting, or else Monica, I'm gonna have to talk about you. Feel the good something. I mean, come on, give me something more than oh my god, I kissed you.
We
I mean,
killed.
please.
And you know what? But the other thing is too, like Lu- Louisa told her she needs to find out more about this man, Bruno. She needs to find out more, dig deeper. Don't just go to the chemistry and the kissing. Find out what's really going on. What is it about him you like? Now, she did say that she feels like that Bruno is more financially stable than Bernardo, which is something that she really requires.
It's true because Bruno is a journalist and I forgot something else. He's a consult. He has his own consulting company or he works for a consulting firm. Bernardo is a physical trainer. We don't know how his clients work, but apparently they talked more and she knows Bruno is more financially stable.
Well, I would think too, though, because remember, she also said that she talks to Bernardo every day, all day. They're texting and they're talking. So I'm trying to figure out, like, his client base maybe is not that thick or that he's that busy that he's able to be on the phone with her all day, every day. I think that's a little bit too much.
It's excessive, especially since you're supposed to be dating other people. You don't want someone to take root in your head when you're supposed to be open to other people. He could be sabotaging her experience by making himself present so that she
Mm,
cannot be present for other people.
that makes sense. That
Oh,
definitely
it's a little bit of dark. It's a little bit of dark arts dating. I'm
dark
telling
arts
you,
dating. Yeah. And wasn't Bernardo the one that also said that he wanted to come to America almost like, I'm almost getting
instantly.
yeah, the 90-day vibes, like, I just need a green card and a visa or something, like what's going on with that?
Exactly. Exactly. He kind of he's giving my antennas go up like the matchmaker.
Antennas are going up. Uh, Last but not least, our next dater is our girl Amber. And Amber, you see her touching her lips here. She is telling her matchmaker that his lips were like soft, pillowy, two soft pillows. They were very pillowy. What did you think of that?
Y'all, the matchmaker asked her what happened in the hotel room with Kevon. What happened? Because I know y'all went to the room. See, that
Hmm.
was slick. She was like, I know y'all went to the room together.
Right, right.
What happened? And so Amber was cutesy and said, "Oh, we just kissed. We just kissed a lot. Da 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 da." And his lips were like pillows. That's she's just ecstatic. Again, why are my American ladies letting these men come to their room or know where their room number is?
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Amber, you
little
done kissed the man in public in the pub. Why do you need to kiss him in private in the hotel?
exactly. Exactly. I mean, if anything, I could have seen if he wanted to maybe ride with her to her hotel and just get a kiss in the van or something, but not like you said,
Then she
all
got to
this.
have Paul look at her while she
Mhm.
kissing the
Mm,
driver.
that's okay. Well, she didn't mind the people in the pub looking at her. So what's the difference? She didn't mind those people in the pub looking at her. So Paul done seen worse. Paul probably got war stories. Okay,
Right.
Paul got war stories. He been driving that van for a minute now. He
Shoot.
knows he done
Paul
seen a
got to clean
lot
up
of
that
stuff,
van quite a few times.
sanitize it and everything. Yeah, but she was telling that. So but now she's got matched with a new dater, and the new dater is Glenn. Glenn is the new dater. She meets up with him, and he's very handsome. Oh, I'm sorry. He had
Mm-mm-mm.
he had the flowers for her. He was standing by his sports car, his sports vehicle. Do you know by any chance what kind of car that was?
It's red and it's looking good. And I'm sure it
Mm-hmm.
smells good on the inside. Like he
Mm-hmm.
looking good and smelling good. Okay.
Smelling good. Well, she said he was very, very manicured from his nails to his eyebrows were even arched, and I was like, I don't know if I want that extra eyebrow arch on my dude, but okay. She said she's gonna go with it. He's good looking. He's definitely tall. He's taller than her. What did you think about Glenn, our boy Glenn here?
I was very scared at first, as she said he's done up, okay? His hair it has a nice queef, okay? His hair is done. He spends time in front of the mirror. So, I was kind of worried until we find out that he used to do like bodybuilding, he used to do male fitness modeling. So I'm like, okay, he's still in the modeling genre. He's trying to keep himself together for, modeling gigs and stuff like that. Men's Health
Mhm,
magazine he said he's been in. So I get it, but he's now showing off his body, and I don't
mhm,
think he's showing it off for Amber. I think he's showing it off to the TV to advertise
mhm.
himself. He
Oh
showed her his
yes.
quads, almost ripping the
Mhm.
seam of his pants to let her see that, his peaches are firm, okay?
He said, I got a bum too. Check me out.
Bump, bump, bump. Exactly. I got thighs. I got peaches. What you need, what you want, I got it, Amber.
I hope that suit has got that stretchy material because that bum was bumming.
And the tan look was it. I mean, he really put himself together. He did look well put together. Yes, I got a bum too. And I was like, wait a minute, are you saying that because she black? Because we like bums. I
Well,
mean,
did he take time to check and see? Because not all black people have bums. Like, you know, some of us don't have bums like that.
right, right. But he's letting you know that some Irishmen do, okay? And I'm one of them.
Yeah,
I
he definitely
appreciated
got
the
the
look.
funds.
I
Yeah,
appreciated it.
he's been doing his squats faithfully and religiously. Yeah. And the thing about it was interesting. Yeah, this date was weird, plain Jeannie. Welcome in. The thing about it was too, because he took her to a former prison complex. And what do you think was the motive behind taking her to a prison complex?
Well, this is where I'm fine with it. Okay, some places like when I went to certain parts of Spain, the prisons are a museum. The prisons have you
Ah,
know their artifacts and stuff in it. I guess it is one of those places. It's like, what else can you turn a prison into? Nobody's going to buy it to turn it into condominiums. Okay, so nobody's, castles, they have repurposed castles as, people buying apartments and stuff in castles and towers, but they have used their prisons to be museums. So although it's a historical place, it also has the architecture of that time. It is a fortress, so nobody can really come in and steal your artifacts.
mm-hmm.
So it does tell me that, hey, I understand. There's a lot of places in Europe where the prison is a tourist attraction.
Oh, okay. Because I almost thought for a minute, and I don't want to be racially insensitive or overly sensitive, but I almost thought about the fact that he is white and she is black. I felt like the former prison thing could have been like a second date and not a first date.
Well, it may be their top place, to go visit. It may be one of their biggest tourist attractions in the area.
Okay.
Um, so I would give him that grace. I'll
Like
have to look
Grace.
it up more, but
Okay.
it seemed to be a well-run museum. If it was real ranky and dingy and whatever, I'll be like, dude, why do we bring you here? But as you see, they walked at first. There's a whole gardens. There's
Mm-hmm.
probably a gift shop and a cafe. I mean, it's well manicured and stuff.
Oh,
So
it
I'm
was.
thinking
Mm-hmm.
and they had what you saw there was they had, a big pamphlet about with the map of the grounds. So I understand what you're saying. I would be like, oh gosh, why? But I know in certain parts, the museum is actually a former prison.
Ah, okay. Okay. And so as they began to talk, they definitely hit it off. There seemed to be chemistry. He, mentioned how beautiful she was. She was gorgeous. He said that to the producer as well as he gave her compliments in person. She gave him compliments. And then he asked her, "What are you doing later on? What are you doing, the
Are
rest of
you
the day?
hungry?
Are you hungry?" Yeah. Because if you are, you can come to my house. We're making stew. My mother's making stew. You can meet my parents. What did you think of that? Like I thought, wow, that's a little quick.
It is quick, and as we know, many Irish young lads do still live with their parents, but we don't know if he lives with his parents, okay? We don't know if he lived there, but he's certainly saying mama's making some stew. This had to be planned. And as, to go to
Mm-hmm.
Africa, you put it right there. He appeared to be an opportunist. It is
Mm-hmm.
like the opportunity to showcase my family as well. It was a little
Mm-hmm.
too much for me. Mama,
Yeah,
we know stew don't take 10-20 minutes. Mama been making that stew since morning, okay? For them to come over later. So
yeah.
this for me was definitely planned.
Yeah.
And if she
Too.
said no, he'd probably sulk a little bit, but he'll go wherever she wanted. But he probably knew, hey, what person's going to turn down good Irish stew
Ooh,
from
girl.
a local?
And it's cold there too, because we see they got their jackets on. So yes, stew on a fall day or winter day when it's cool, it is always delicious.
She
Stew
should have
is.
asked him, does your mama have, grow all her vegetables, and is the compost out back? There's some questions, Amber.
Maybe she won't have any tea this time. Just ask him. I know she said she does not do fast food and she doesn't drink sodas, but I
That
don't
was interesting. I'm glad you brought that up.
know.
That she said she does not do fast food or the sodas, and he said the same thing. He does
Same
not do
thing.
that. They're on like a healthy kick. I was like, okay, that was interesting. These are the things we need to learn about Amber and her dates, and I don't know what else editing has left out that we would find very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. They did the shackles. They did the shackles. They both went like what's that called? Is that the guillotine? What is that when you're in those shackles, or is it just
I don't
shackles?
know, but that's the part I didn't like.
Yeah, I was like, because yeah, I was like, I don't know why exactly they did that. I don't know why they thought that was cool, but like you said again, I mean, if she's gonna give into it and they're already meeting at this former prison, I guess they were curious. But yeah, I didn't like that either. That kind of spooked me a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't like it. Y'all, what it is that you know where they place people as punishment, where you would put your arms into the holes and then your head is in. I can't
Hmm.
remember if it's a guillotine. The name just loses from me right now. And so
Hmm.
Amber decided to go into it. He did too. He
He
went
did
into
too.
one as well. But
Yeah.
I'm
Ugh.
like, we ain't doing that. I am not putting myself into whatever the prisoners were in. No,
Mm-mm.
thank you.
I felt
Even if it was a photo opportunity.
right. I felt you're right, and I think that's what it kind of did because she put the camera in and she took a picture of it. But I also felt like something that serious. Some things, and this just bear with me. This is just my own personal opinion. Some things have spirits, and I almost felt like I saw the spirits jumping off on them when they did that. I was like, oh no, no, that's
I
very
was more
serious.
I was more thinking that somebody suffered in this piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And that is not something I wish to, play with. Somebody suffered. So I'm not going to play around, with that, or, the shackles there. I'm not going to play around with that. There are people that actually lived through this and went
True.
through this, and I'm like, mm-mm, girl, and that Diana Ross hair to try, and he gave her an out, y'all. When she was eager to try it, and he gave her an out, say, I don't
Right.
think it's gonna work with all your hair. I don't want to mess it up.
Right. He did. That was cute. That was
And
cute.
she's like, no, 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 no. It can still fit. It can still fit. I'm like, Amber, I need you to cut the over eager.
Yeah. She sometimes she comes across almost as thirsty. I don't know why that is. Like I think it's partially like our girl Victoria, like she's very childlike in some ways, but I'm eager to see who she's gonna go off on and snap at and
I think it's
curse
this
them
one.
out. I think so too. And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with this dinner that she's headed toward. I wonder. What did you see for the scenes for next week? Because I did the bonus episode, I didn't get the what's coming up next week, unfortunately. So could you tell us about some of those?
Well, we didn't see exactly, but we have seen during the week that she goes off on someone and she throws a glass. That's Amber.
Hmm.
Victoria is going for a tattoo with her comedian. We do see them in the tattoo shop, but again, we don't know who she's going to be crying over because somebody stood her up for a date. But that's Victoria. We do see Sarah is back, who is in Singapore. She is in a vintage Rolls Royce or some other high valued car. She loves it. She said, if he did this to impress me, he is. And then he asks her, what's your body count? And she's offended. And then he puts his hand on her knee. That
Oh wow.
she was appalled, but I kept thinking, your matchmaker told you about this and how you may be viewed and looked at.
Those outfits that she keeps wearing, and the fact
Exactly.
that she seems to almost be saying she wants a sponsor, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what she wants, but you got to look at how that's going to be viewed. And I think that in the Singapore, in their culture, the men aren't looking for women to sponsor and marry. They may do one or the other. They may sponsor you, but they're not going to marry you.
Exactly. Exactly. And not the wealthy. And then you have to be culture appropriate because you are his wife representing him within his culture. So again,
Yes.
she has to look at that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I can't wait to see Amber at this man's house and his family, and how they're going to treat her, how his mother's going to treat her, and how that's going to go
Oh,
down.
that was a preview. Yes, thank you for reminding me. A preview was
Oh, what's that?
they were saying she reminds them of a singer and they couldn't remember it, and then
Oh
somebody said
yes,
Diana
Diana
Ross.
Ross. Oh yeah, okay, okay, yeah, I did see that. I did see that one. Okay, Yeah. So that's going to be interesting because I think from what I saw that one, the look on her face was kind of like, okay, we all look alike type of thing. That's, she looked disappointed. That's what I saw. What did you see?
I did see she looked disappointed, but I have to say yes, yes, it is not a dig. Diana Ross, her famous concert at Central Park. That hair, every time I see Amber, I remember Diana Ross with that big hair. So I'm not going to push them into any particular pocket, but because she reminds me of Diana Ross whenever I see her with that big hair.
Yeah, she does. She does, guys. Elsie, please tell us what you got going on your channel and let the people know where they can find you.
Well, I am Elsa932. You could find me on YouTube. I also have TikTok now, which is just a whole lot of clips because I'm trying to maximize YouTube. So Tuesdays we are here. Actually, Aubrey and I are here for Match Me Abroad. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 5:05, we're talking about the King's Court. Okay, and there are three new queens that have entered this kingdom, and it is it's a whole bunch of cackles. Okay, we gonna talk about it. um Fridays I do Elcid Unscripted, because that's whatever the chat wants to talk about, we gonna go there and talk about it. And we do have a musical segment with the top 10 or top 20 of a particular year or decade. Also Saturdays at 10 a.m. I release Alone, the survival show recap. That is about to end soon, so I'm gonna, fit in something else. And I do Project Runway. My top videos right now is Project Runway, Meet the Designers, and a recap of episode 1 and 2, where the audience, you in my chat, y'all get to grade the designs, and we talk about it, and we talk about the judges, and we have a good kiki and good time about Project Runway. So make sure your notifications are on, because I'm working on another segment. Okay, I haven't even talked about it. For those of you who are here from my chat and Aubrey's, y'all be the first one to hear about it. It's going to
Mm.
be called Date or Dump. And I'm going to do one outside
Mm.
for everyone. And I have petitioned, y'all have told me to petition YouTube for a membership grade. And so I'm going to have a membership, and we're going to do Date or Dump. And this is where I show you a dater's video introducing themselves. I'm going to do a sneak peek at Unscripted, okay? On Friday, I'm going to do a sneak peek where back in the day, daters used to have a video. Before all of this, they used to submit VHS tapes. And we will see how people from back in the day used to market themselves for a date on dating shows. And we will talk about it.
Ooh, that sounds
Date or dump.
date or dump. That sounds very, very good. Oh my
So we're going
goodness.
to do one out here in the open, and once I get approved for membership, we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more in the membership.
Yes, guys, go ahead. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Uh, s- uh, we have on Sunday coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be covering. We're back on Ready to Love. And again, as she mentioned, on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., we do Match Me Abroad. So, guys, check us out. We're so glad that you stayed with us today, that you watched the video. If you're watching on replay, uh, drop down and say hello, hey, whatever you want to say. Talk about the video. What stood out to you this episode with Match Me Abroad? And guys, we're going to shimmy and shake on out of here. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye now.
Bye. Have a good one.